Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, with more homes on the market, there'll be some homes that are simply not selling. What are the reasons that they're not selling, and what can be done about that?
Well, Richard, I think uh, really it's what I call the four P's, right? Preparation, so having the house prepared for sale, pricing it right. That's one of the more critical factors. I've seen home sellers that didn't do any preparation for sale, but they were because they priced it right, they were able to get it sold. Promoting it, so you want to make sure your marketing is good, and of course, picking the right team to help you sell the house. Now, the ones that sell their homes as is, the buyers can see that it's priced below similar sales around them, and they understand that, right? So, but in general, there's quite a few buyers. According to the National Association of Realtors, 40% of the home buyers out there have no interest in taking a look at a home that needs work. And there's a reason for that. They have to set aside money to do whatever repair. So unless it's a really good bargain, unless they can get into a neighborhood where they couldn't otherwise buy in that price range or that size, they're just not going to show up and not going to make an offer. Now, pending sales are actually up just a little bit more than probably they were same time last year, according to this data. And so that's a good sign because the rates have come down a little bit. At the same time, the rates are low sixes and right around 6.23 conventional and just over six for VA and FHA. So that's a good thing. That means homes are more affordable, but there's also more homes on the market. So a seller really has to make a very, very analytical decision about, okay, I've got all this competition around me. And you can't ignore new construction. New construction home sellers make it very competitive. There's certain areas in Colorado Springs where you have to be priced very aggressively in order to compete with new construction, because I've worked with people that went and bought new construction, and they'll tell me, yeah, the builder gave me 24,000 in incentives so I could buy down my interest rate. It covered all the closing costs, it covered all the upgrades I wanted, or I could reduce the home sale price. So that's very tough competition for a resale used house seller. So you have to be made aware of everything around you. You can't just guess. And right now, 54% of home sellers are lowering their prices below what they originally thought they would get when they started on the market. Now, a majority of the real estate agents have never seen a what I call challenging market. The prices are correcting just a little bit. The volume of buyers is a lot less than it was before the Fed started raising the rates in 2022. And most of the agents entered the business within the last 5 years. So they don't know what to do when a price is going down. I just received an assignment from the Secretary of Veterans Affairs to handle the sale of a property that was put up for short sale. It was showing under contract. Clearly, the agent was not paying attention because it had foreclosed a week before, but she still had the property on the market. So I think a lot of people have never seen that situation. I was in the business back in 2008 through 2012, where it was a very interesting meltdown. And at the same time, the resale sellers had a lot of problems. But even in those markets, the pretty homes sold if they were priced right, and the homes that were priced aggressively sold. So we know what to do in those markets. Not everybody, not every agent does know how to do it. But at the end of the day, you got to pick somebody that, first of all, promotes the home well. So I took over a listing last year, this time, from a seller that called me and said, we don't know what's going on. We've been on the market for, I think at that time, it was like 4 or 5 months. They'd priced it really, really high. They'd walked the price down. They still didn't get an offer. And I looked at it and I'm like, well, I think what's going on is your pictures are awful. The guy had taken his smartphone, take some happy snaps where the lighting was really bad. He didn't even highlight the best features of the home. And guess what? That is your first showing. So if the agent is too cheap, I'll just use the word too cheap to spend a few $100s to appropriately market the home, you're going to get less results because your competition is doing very nice, beautiful, professional photography to attract the buyer to the house. The house itself was gorgeous. The seller had even spent the money to bring in professional staging furniture. It was a veteran, they were overseas. They brought in this professional staging furniture. It looked great in person, but the buyers never came to see it because the marketing was bad. So they hired us, we fixed it, we got it sold in 9 days for full price without any problem. It was just a marketing problem. It was amazing. And I had, I work with a lot of what I call corporate sellers. So either investors that buy a lot of volume in the country, or like right now, one of my biggest clients is the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, where because they provide mortgage insurance, which is called the VA funding fee, if for some reason the borrower does not make their payments, the lender is given money from the VA and they deed the property over to the VA if they cannot make payments, and they let it go. And unfortunately, there's more and more and more of those right now. We've had a surge of 36% of foreclosures in this county, in El Paso County. And a lot of it has to do with the veterans are coming in, they're buying homes, no money down. They're getting the VA funding fee, which is about 2 to 3% added to their loan balance to buy that home, right? And as long as their housing allowance covers the payment, they're happy. But if they have to turn around and sell it in just a few years, either they're getting a military transfer or something went sideways, guess what? There is a problem because they don't have enough equity to pay the commission, taxes, title, and at the same time, the market values have corrected a little bit, maybe 3 to 5%. So a lot of these folks don't know what to do, and they're just letting the home go. And so what happens with these, the VA asset management company, they say, okay, what do you think it will sell for now? They ask me, they ask an appraiser, they make a decision, they put it on the market. If it doesn't sell, they lower the price till they get offers. So they know exactly what it takes because they sell thousands of these across the country. And typically every 15 to 30 days, they're making a price adjustment. And I've had the asset managers, tell me, hey, you have to be my eyes and ears on the ground because we can't see this house. We don't know what's going on. And when you get a buyer that's interested, don't let them get away. So right now it's leaning more towards a buyer's market, I think, than a seller's market. And the biggest issue is price and affordability. The average income to be able to afford an average home in this market is well over $100,000 right now. The median price right now is about $520,000. So to afford a house like that, you probably have to make over $120,000 with no debt. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of the show. And we're talking about what you should do if you have a home that's not selling. How can you fix this problem? And when we come back, we're going to talk about some solutions to solve just that. If you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900. We have thousands of buyers just on our website looking for homes in all different price ranges. Typically, I can match over 1,000 buyers to any home with the marketing that I'm doing and market directly to those buyers to make sure that your house is put at the front of the line against the other competition. And all you need to do is call us at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb, we're discussing why a house may not be selling. So, what are some things that home sellers can do to jumpstart that and get the house selling?
Well, once you've established your housing strategy, you really want to bring in a professional to take a look at it and discuss those options with you. You could sell it as is. You could sell it for full market value. It may not need to be sold as is to an investor. Or it could be something simple. Like I helped a home seller a few months ago. Nice home down in Fountain. It was very well cared for. It was built in 1960s. It had some of the original appliances in the kitchen. The kitchen was adorable, but it was older. And they had put this, sculpted heavy carpet over the top of real hardwood floors. So I suggested to the seller, hey, any chance you could just pull that carpet and pull the carpet tack strips and show off the hardwood floor. So that's what we did. They priced it right, and we had a bidding war, and it sold for 15,000 over asking price. That was just a few months ago. So you need somebody that can take a look at that and help you decide what is the best strategy to get it on the market. If you're already on the market, you have to look very carefully at your competition, what homes are going under contract and why, and what are sitting on the market, who's lowering their price. All those factors have to do with it. So, because if it's marketed correctly, it's probably a price thing. You can tell right away if you didn't get the pricing right based on the volume of showings. If you're getting very few showings, buyers are finding other options. If you're getting showings but no offers, then you're a little bit overpriced. And if you're getting offers, you're in the ballpark, just stay there, stay right there. Maybe you didn't have the right offer this time, but the next time you will. So it's all about pricing and how the market reacts to the marketing that was done. So if you are thinking of making a move, this is what we do week in, week out, many, many times every single week. We'd love to come by and give you tips on what to do, what not to do to get your house ready for sale, what to fix, what not to fix. I just had a meeting like that last week. And, it's simple stuff. Sometimes it can really make the difference of you getting full market value or it's sitting on the market, because buyers, most of them don't want to do any work. So give us a call, 719-301-3900, or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
To your real estate voice with the host of the program, Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. If you are thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to sell your house in weeks, like CarMax sells cars, plus Barb's hot new listings. Don't miss that.